What's up guys, welcome back to my CMF ruler deck profiles. This is going to be the final one and it's Pandora of Light. I'm actually really excited. This is really bittersweet. I'm finally done with all of the rulers after this, and it's kind of exciting to know that I was able to accomplish a whole straight month. I think it was a little over a month too, of just straight daily deck profiles, so I'm really proud of myself for that. And I really thank everyone who's been keeping up with every deck profile and been watching them. That's really great and it means so much to me. And so next week's going to be kind of a week for the newer players for Forcible. I figured with SKL around the corner, a lot of people are going to be getting into the game, and I wanted to drop some like how to play and or pro tip kind of videos coming out. So I'll go into more depth about specific rulings and stuff people might be confused about. And then the week after that will either be spoiler talk or I don't really know just yet what I'm going to be doing. I still have to plan what the week after is me. There's probably going to be some story videos too. I kind of want to fill the gap that I'm missing up until SKL. So when I do an SKL video, everything makes sense. But without anything else being mentioned, I'm going to start with the Pandora of Light deck profile. For Pandora of Light, I don't like playing any ramp. I run a little red, the Pure Stone, and a Glue Ballista for just the True Stones. I find it more important to go really slow with this deck because you can use a lot of hand control with Resonators and spells already. And then if they try to swarm the field so you're not touching your hand, you can always blow it up with Pandora of Light. So you kind of hit two birds with one stone. Magic Stone of Scorched Fields, of course, for red-black. And Magic Stone of Heaven's Rift for light black. For the Resonators, I'm running 3 Rasputin. I have a typical Cthulhu engine going in here, and I've always found that 3 Rasputin and 2 Mozart for the blacks work really, really well. Mozart, of course, is removal, and Rasputin just keeps coming back. 3 Guinevere's because she works really well with Ruge, which I'm running 4 of. This is a very typical standard ratio you'll see me use in all my Cthulhu decks. It's of course Dylan's, who I made that Alice deck profile from Houston from. He used this and it worked amazing against me, so I kind of picked up that kind of ratio from him. 3 Hasters. Even though the deck can blow up the field, I wanted target removal just in case there's like a threat on the field. And although if I'm gonna mulligan early, I'd rather get rid of this and hope to hit Naya's. Naya, of course, lets me control their hand, and like I said, controlling their hand is really important in this deck because if you can control their hand, you already have an answer for their field. And then I also have 4 Mephistopheles because there is a lot of hand control in this deck, so you get rid of their answers, and then you just start swinging with Mephistopheles and they're top decking for an answer. And even if they do, let's say, draw like a Stony to Death or something and they get rid of it, you're always going to have more options anyway because there's so many cards in your hand and they don't have anything. So I like having 4, especially because then you can double up on it too. If you drop one and they kill, you just drop another one, and if they're top decking, there's nothing they can do. For the spells, I have 4 Thunders, of course, for 500 direct or spot removal. I run 4 Flame of the Outer World opposed to the normal 3. The reason I like 4 in this deck is because the only answer the deck doesn't have is for J rulers other than target attack from Mephistopheles, and I like being able to double up on it to kill rulers. It really sucks if they kind of try to make a comeback with their ruler, and Pandora of Light on the field isn't really great. She doesn't really give you anything after she's been summoned, so I'd rather have answers for their J rulers outside of being able to attack with Meph. 2 Stoning to Death just for a little bit of removal. I didn't want to focus too heavy on removal, so I only used 2. 2 Dream of Juliet to protect Mephistopheles. It also destroys additions, or you can draw a card if you're desperate. 4 Spiral of Despair, which is the key card of this deck. They have to discard a card at random, and normally you don't run this in Pandora of Dark because you don't have 10 Blackstones, but I do in this. So I can always go turn 2 Spiral, and why turn 2 Spiral in this deck is so important is because if they start off with 5 cards and they mulligan, let's say 2, you can assume that of course the 3 cards they kept is cards they want to open with. The other 2 cards they get is either combo pieces for those other 3 cards, or maybe they had 2 high cost Resonators in their hand and they wanted to get rid of it, or late game spells. And so when you play turn 2 Spiral, it's right after they played 1 card. Well, they don't have to play a card, but normally, you'll tap a stone, let's say summon Rasputin, they go tap stone, summon Elvish Priest, 5 cards in hand, and then you go Spiral. And now, other than the card they drew, unless the card they summoned was the card that they meant to keep from their hand, you're hitting 2 cards they either possibly mulliganed for or kept in their hand because it was good. And the fact that it's random means you can possibly hit 2 of those cards. So if you mess up someone's mulligan, which is essentially their early game setup, you can easily win by just keeping hand control. And if they ever get anything on the field, you just blow it up with Pandora. And 1 Necronomicon because Late game spiral reuses are awesome, not to mention I have 4 flames and 4 thunders, so you can make sure you remove any other threats that are being top deck, or you can get rid of their hand more if you keep casting spirals. The side deck I decided to use is actually exactly the same as the Pandora Dark one. I had the one Blazer, which in this deck I can search with Rook Egg, the one Susanoo, which I can also side into and search with Rook Egg depending on the matchup. I have 3 Crime and Punishment, which like I said works really good against Bahamut or cards like Hamlin. I think it's actually really good against Fairy Tales in general because it's not quite often that they leave stones open if they go turn 3 or turn 2 Fairy Tale. So if they confidently attack with Hamlin thinking you don't have any answers and you crime, it's a really good way to get rid of it. 2 Bind of Gravity combos really well with Mephistopheles if you get that weird combo in where you can attack, equip it with this, recover it, and attack again. But generally it's to rest their flyers so they don't have any answers to them, to Mephistopheles attacking. 3 Savior Splendor, sorry. This removes dark creatures from the game. It's really important because if you go against like a mirror, not a mirror match technically, a Pandora of Light, but if something either Cthulhu or Dark Heavy and they have Mephistopheles, you have access to their cards because you have access to light, whereas most dark decks don't really splash in light. 3 Return to Stories also for Fairy Tales, especially with the new Fairy Tales coming out with Cinderella and Snow White, this might actually see more play. And 2 Dark Pulse because it kills all those low drops. This has been my favorite card for a while now, side decked, and I think I'm going to start maining it soon too. So thanks for watching, guys. For those who have kept up from the very beginning of the deck profiles, I'm really happy that you guys have still been watching all of these. There's been over 25 rulers now, and I'm really happy to have finished all of them. If you guys do have any questions or suggestions, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. The next time you see my deck profiles, I'm probably not going to have a too long didn't watch version. I'll probably just do it where at the end of the video it shows the deck list itself, since a lot of people have been requesting that. So if you don't like the way I've been doing it this whole time, it is subject to change. I'm most likely going to be changing things up a lot for the channel. I kind of want to revamp it before the release of Alice, but I've been really busy with work. I have a new job now, so I'm going to do my best. Hopefully I can get everything done at least on the weekends, because I do have weekends off. And yeah, I'll kind of have more news on what's coming change-wise, I guess once I figure it out. But until then, please subscribe if you haven't for more videos, and I will catch you guys next time.